Welcome to today's Explainer. We're stepping right into the coder's workshop to get our hands on one of the absolute most fundamental raw materials in Python programming, the string. Look, whether you're building a quick little script or a massive, complex application, manipulating text is basically unavoidable. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how Python handles this vital data type, pulling all our insights directly from the source chapter.
But hey, before we write a single line of code, take a look at this quote. It perfectly captures the limitless, weightless potential of working with text data in computer science. Think about it. We can store vast amounts of information, I mean literally entire encyclopedias, and manipulate them instantly without adding a single ounce of physical weight. Strings are the digital manifestation of this exact concept.
All right, here is our blueprint for the workshop today. We'll meet the string data type, dive into indexing and immutability, tackle essential string operations, figure out navigating strings with loops, check out some built-in string methods, and finally, we'll wrap up by building our own custom string functions. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Meet the string data type. So what actually is a string? Basically, it's just a sequence of Unicode characters. This could be letters, digits, blank spaces, or really any symbol you can type. Now, here's a pretty fascinating quirk right off the bat. Python doesn't actually have a separate character data type. While a lot of other languages treat a single letter totally differently than a whole word, in Python, a single letter is just considered a string with a length of 1. It keeps things nice and simple.
When it comes to actually creating this raw material in your code, you've got some great options. You can wrap your text in single quotes or double quotes. Honestly, both work exactly the same way. But the real magic happens when you use triple quotes. Using 3 single or 3 double quotes allows you to stretch your text across multiple lines. This is absolutely perfect for formatting longer blocks of text, like a multi-line welcome message, right inside your code without breaking anything.
Moving along to Section 2, Indexing and Immutability. Okay, so picture this. Every single character in your string occupies a specific, numbered slot called an index. You grab a character by popping an integer inside square brackets. And Python brilliantly gives you 2 ways to do this. Positive indexing starts from the left at 0. So the first character is 0, the second is 1, all the way up. And this is super cool. Python also gives us negative indexing. This starts from the right side. So an index of -1 instantly grabs the very last character of your string. -2 is the second to last, and so on. It is a massive time saver when you just need the end of a string and don't want to bother calculating its total length.
Now listen closely, because here is the biggest gotcha of the entire workshop. Strings are completely immutable. That means once you create a string, you absolutely cannot change its contents in place. Let's say you try to reassign just one specific character, like changing the E in hello to an A using its index. Python will immediately throw a type error. It'll just stop. You literally have to create a brand new string if you want a modified version. Keep that in mind, it's super important.
All right, Section 3, Essential String Operations. Since we can't alter strings directly, we use operators as our foundational hand tools. The plus sign is your concatenation operator, which glues 2 strings together end to end. Notice that it literally glues them. If you want a space between hello and world, you've got to manually add that space into one of the strings. The asterisk is for repetition. It instantly duplicates a string as many times as you want. And finally, the in and not in membership operators are fantastic for super quick inspections. They just check if a substring exists inside a larger string and hand you back a simple true or false. Moving from single characters, slicing is literally like using a precision saw in our workshop. It lets you cleanly extract an exact range of characters. You define a start index, n, and an end index, m, separated by a colon. Now remember, the slice includes the start index but stops just before the end index. If you skip the start index, Python just assumes you mean the very beginning. Skip the end index, it cuts all the way to the end. You can even throw in a third parameter for the step size. And here's a pro tip straight from the source chapter. Setting that step size to -1 is a genius little trick to instantly reverse your entire string.
Next up, Section 4, Navigating Strings with Loops.
Now, let's step it up to automated traversal, processing every character one by one. This logical, step-by-step procedure shows exactly how a while loop acts like a continuous conveyor belt. You start by setting an index variable to 0, then use Python's built-in len function to get the string's total length. As long as your index is less than that length, the loop keeps firing. Inside, you process the character, maybe print it out, and then, this is the crucial part, you increment the index by 1 so the belt moves forward. Now, a quick aside, Python also has a for loop which actually traverses strings automatically, pulling out characters without you having to manage that index variable at all. Both are super useful tools.
Section 5. Built-in string methods.
All right, it's time to plug in the power tools. By leveraging Python's built-in string methods, we save an enormous amount of time. Need to change the casing, upper, lower, and title handle it in a flash. Trying to locate a specific word? The find method pinpoints the exact index, while count tallies up how many times it appears. The replace method is an absolute lifesaver for swapping out old text with new text. And if you're dealing with long sentences, split will chop that text apart and hand you back a neat list of individual words. These are, for sure, your daily coding workhorses.
And finally, Section 6. Building custom string functions. Let's step right up to the workbench and put it all together. Using the traversal loops, methods, and slicing rules we just learned, you can construct custom logic to solve super specific problems. For instance, the chapter details how to write a custom function that loops through a string, checks if each character is a vowel, and if it is, adds an asterisk to a newly created string. If it's not a vowel, it just adds the original character. Now, remember our big gotcha about immutability? Because strings are immutable, we are literally building a brand new string, character by character, as we loop through the old one. We can also manually reverse a string using loops and negative indexing. The power is completely in your hands.
I'm going to leave you with one final coding challenge today. Straight from the source material, can you build a custom function to check if a string is a palindrome? You know, a word that reads the exact same forward and backward, like Kanak or race car? Think about how you'd use what we learned today. You might set up a loop with a starting index moving right and an ending index moving left, checking characters until they meet in the middle. Understanding strings at this deep level just opens up endless possibilities. So what kind of text manipulation are you going to build first? Keep experimenting in your own coder's workshop, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.